Today we're going to talk about proportions. A proportion is two fractions set equal to each other with one of the values missing. So in this case we put a letter x where the value is missing. In order to find the value of x with a proportion, we are going to cross multiply and divide. So when you are doing the multiplication, the two numbers that are across from each other are going to be multiplied together. So 2 times x gives us 2x. And then I'm going to multiply the other ones that are also across from each other. 1 times 8 gives me 8. Well, then from here, you need to solve for your letter x. In this case, 2 is being multiplied to x because there's nothing in between them. So we are going to divide both sides by 2. Now, what remains at this point? 2 divided by 2 leaves me with 1x, so that's on my left side. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. So my answer is 4. Okay. The reason that this is really my answer, I've got 1/2, and this is set equal to my x value 4 over 8. Well, we know that the fraction 1/2 is the same thing as 4/8. So those two things are equal to each other. So look at your assignment, the one that is called Proportions Worksheet. I'm going to do example 1A with you. It's the same idea. We've got a proportion, two fractions set equal to each other. I am going to cross multiply each one of these things. And it doesn't really matter if you put your 39x on the left or on the right. I'm just going to do x times 39 gives me 39x, and this is equal to 78 times 20. So I'm going to look over here. Here's my calculator. 78 times 20 gives me 1,560. So 1,560. Then from here, it's the same thing like what we just did. In order to get x by itself, we've got to divide by the number that's attached to it. Divide both sides by 39. So on this side, 39 divided by 39 is 1, so I've still got 1x over here. On the other side, I'm going to do 1560 divided by 39. Hit enter. That gives us 40 as our answer. So x is equal to 40. All right, now let's look over at the second page for the proportions worksheet that starts with the word problems. So on number 1A, it says that a boat can travel 496 miles on 62 gallons of gasoline. How much gasoline will it need to go 432 miles? So we've got two things that are changing right here. We're talking about miles and gasoline. So I'm going to set up my fractions over on the side so that I'm comparing miles and gasoline. Right here. Now, once again, it actually does not matter if you put the miles on the top or on the bottom, as long as you make sure that you are lining everything else up as well. So the first sentence that they said, a boat can travel 496 miles, so I'm going to line that one up with miles, 496, on 62 gallons of gasoline. So I'm going to line that one up with the 62 gallons. Those two are mentioned together, so they need to be in the same fraction together. The question is how much gasoline, so the gasoline is the one that we don't know. I'm going to put my letter X right there. They want to know how much gasoline it will need to go 432 miles. So make sure you're lining that up. Once you have your proportions set up, it's the same thing as all those other problems. We are going to cross multiply those numbers and then divide. So 496 times x is 496x, and this is equal to the other side, which is 62 times 432. When I hit enter, that gives me 26,784. Okay. Same thing, I'm trying to finish getting x by itself, so I've got to get rid of the number attached to it. I'm going to divide by 496. So when you divide, it cancels out on the left and gives us x is equal to the other side. I've got 26,784 divided by 496. That is a 9 right there. Okay. Hit enter, and that gives us 54. So this is 54, but remember, it is a word problem, so you need to make sure that you put a label. We're talking about 54 gallons of gasoline. My X was in the gasoline spot. So gallons of gasoline. And that's your answer. Okay. I'm going to do one more with you, 1B, just to make sure that you understand the word problems. So once again, here I'm going. A car travels 272 miles in 4 hours with a constant speed. How much time will it take traveling 400 miles? So I've got to find the two things that are changing. We're talking about miles and hours. So I'm just going to put miles and hours. Okay. So I'm going to set up my two fractions equal to each other. The first one says, a car travels 272 miles, so that needs to go on the top with the miles, in 4 hours. So the 4 goes on the bottom with the hours. Okay. They want to know how much time, so time is talking about hours, that's my unknown. I'm going to put my X right there. To travel 400 miles. So I've got to make sure that one is lined up with my miles. Okay. From here, I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to cross multiply each one of those terms. So 272 times X is 272X. And then on the other side, I've got to multiply 4 times 400 because those are across from each other, which gives me 1,600. The next step will be to get X by itself. I've got to get rid of the 272, so I'm going to divide both sides by 272. What that leaves me with, it cancels out on the left and I get X is equal to, so 1,600, I'm going to type that in, divided by 272 is 5.88. So I'm going to just round to 2 decimal places, 5.88, and this is talking about hours. Our X was in the hours spot.